Welcome back to the channel, everybody. What a great weekend of racing this is. Let's get into it. Race number one at Flemington is the listed Talon Dirt Stakes over the 1100 metres, and I've got Hard Kick on top. I think this horse is hard to beat. Hayes boys know how to place their 2-year-olds. Barrier number 4 is perfect for this horse. Has had straight track experience. Jumping out up the straight was quite impressive that day. Been impressive in all its work. Being out of all too hard. I think that this horse can prove hard to beat here at its first start. Zimbales can only be over. It can only be that short because it brings the Sydney form, and ran quite well in Sydney, but had every chance up there in Switches State's second start. Shahar Jahan had showed ability at the Cranbourne jump outs and can run well here from barrier number 3, the inside draw, and diameter in for fourth from barrier number 5 for Chris Waller and Jai McNeil. But I've got a Hard Kick on top in the Talon Dirt. Hopefully start the day with a winner. Race number 2 at Flemington is a benchmark 78 over the 2,000 metres in set weight and penalties, and I am with Fiore not here. I think this horse is hard to beat, building a very good record for itself, and has the picket fence starting of his last 2 wins, and was very good in all its runs prior to this campaign. Barrier 9 is a little query having to go back, but it's Flemington. He's won over the track the last 2 times he's been to Flemington, and won over the shorter trip at 1800 metres. Ambassadorial came out and franked the form last Saturday in winning, so I think Fiore not is the way to go here for Geordie Childs and Tom Davidic, my brother's keeper. This horse is way over the odds at $26. I can see this horse easily running into a place here. Harry Coffey in the saddle for Simon Brown with his 61 kilos at barrier 11. What I like about this horse is that it's had a couple of good runs in his preparation over the shorter trips, 1400, improving to run third over the 1600 metres last start, now up to the 2000, back to a track where this horse has run well previously, and I think can run well again here. Tarview flying, but is getting deep into the campaign now and chasing Hermaphrodite first up and can run well. But I'm with Fiore not in race number 2 at Flemington to pound down the middle late. Race number 3 at Flemington is the listed Desirable Stakes over the 1400 metres, and I can't believe you're getting a good price for Ole Dancer at $2.20. This horse should easily be $1.60 here. Class-wise has them covered. Just a little query from the outside draw, but it's Flemington. Long straight, rail in the true position. It should get every chance, and on class has got them cooked, being a rating of 105, with the next horse in the field has a rating of 73, being Custom. So Ole Dancer, clear top pick and clearly the one to beat. Custom in for second. Ran okay last start with not a lot of luck, and gets a little bit of weight off, but tries 1400 metres for the first time. That's the query. Sassapeel, way up in grade and weight, though looks one of the only leaders in the race. Can run well, but is too short. And Next Gen comes out of the Princess Series in Sydney first up, and was scratched from racing against Apocalyptic in Sydney this Saturday. So the move could prove profitable here. But Ole Dancer for me, Grip 1 winner against a benchmark 70 horse at best in Sassapeel. Looks easy math to me. Race number 4 at Flemington is the Vobis Gold Prelude over the 1100 metres, and I'm going with the class here. Photograph to be hard to beat. Barrier 8 I don't see to be any issue because it's going to go back. Luke Curry in the saddle. I think that this horse is going to prove hard to beat, coming out of some very good races last preparation. The Alingi, the Kieran Ishaban Sprint, the How Now, and the Doveton. They're all group races where Immortal Stars coming out of benchmark 74, 78s and 84s, though has the straight track experience and is racing well, though I think, Photograph does have straight track experience and I think can be winning. Mystic Rain, at her best, would prove hard to beat here, though we haven't seen it this preparation. That does get the lightweight Mickey D in the saddle, and Jack Ivy in for fourth. But Photograph, hopefully the class can reign supreme in the Vobis Gold Prelude. Race number 5 at Flemington is a benchmark 90 over the 1200 metres up the straight again, and it's Great Maximus on top here. I think that this horse is coming out of the supreme form race in the Durbridge in Adelaide, considering a lot of these have got a couple of queries against them, but this horse is third up, coming back in grade and up in trip and down in weight. From a wide draw, he can get the stalking run back in the field and come swooping over the top late. And he has had straight track experience before. Damien Lane, Book, Richard and Chantal Jolly wouldn't be bringing it here if they thought it could run a good third or second. They're here to win, and I think can do so. Endola in for second. This horse is flying straight, and a sprint trip is the query that gets Luke Curry from a good draw. Ruta Royale, this horse is racing well, though he's up in grade here, and I couldn't come near him at the price. An extra 2, anywhere near its effort in the race that Disneck won, the Standish, would go very close here. Great Maximus for mine in race 3, the benchmark. Race number 5, the benchmark 90. Race number 6 at Flemington is an open handicap over the 2,500 metres, and this looks clearly St. George's race. This horse is absolutely flying this time in, being sixth up here into the campaign, coming off 2 very good wins out to the 2,500 metres, where we know that this horse should excel at the trip. The Logan Bates takes the weight off, which I think is a key to his chances, and I think he is the one to beat. Newfoundland in for second was very good, winning the Australia Day Cup in Sydney. The Waterhouse and Bott, if they go forward from the inside draw, we know what we're going to get. He'll stay all day, and I think that they're the main 2 in the race, St. George and Newfoundland. Steel Run was a very good run last start, first up to the 2,500 metres, second up. Can run well for Mickey D with the 54 kilos. And Barclay Square, yes, beat St. George in the Ballarat Cup, though that was a soft track that day to Barclay Square's liking and not to St. George's. They'll turn it around here, and he already has turned it around on Barclay Square, having a win over him last start at Flemington. So St. George for mine in race 6 in the open handicap. Race number 7 at Flemington is the listed Elms handicap over the 1,400 metres, and this is one of my favourite races on the racing calendar. It always has been, it always will be, but I've got Sabaj on top. This horse is a clear standout here. I think he should be winning this. Yes, he's got the inside draw, so you're banking on a bit of luck, though if he had drawn wide, say 5, 6, 7, he'd easily be 230 or under. So the fact you're getting 320 with the query he might not get a run, it's a good enough price to find out, considering this horse ran really well, ran with no luck in Sydney in the Silver Eagle, bolted in his 2 starts in Melbourne, being at Flemington over the mile, and in the Cranbourne Cup, then went to the Ingham, and the back markers weren't suited, and he ran home quite well. So clear standout top pick. Cafe Millennium in for second, comes out of the same race as Just the Deal. I thought Cafe Millennium was better to the line, considering they were both first up, and can improve with the same amount of improvement. I think Cafe Millennium will be going well, though. Having said that, Just the Deal gets the weight advantage on Cafe Millennium. And Birdman, the class run of the race, he will need further, but he could run a race at odds. Sabaj for mine. Race number 8 at Flemington is the feature of the day. It's the Group 1 Black Caviar Lightning over the 1,000 metres, and I'm very, very confident here on 10 Tyrus. I think that this horse is a star in the making, proving it last campaign, winning the Coolmore and the Gothic Prior, and I think that this horse is just going to be an absolute weapon here. Anthony and Sam Freedman would have him tuned right up for this, going into a Group 1 with a reputation of him being a cold on the line, and I just think he'll win this. I honestly think he'll just win. Giga Kick in for second, has to carry the weight, being with the career he's had. Barry number 6 will be all right. He's all good up the straight, but the query is the 1,000 metres, and he's a back marker. My Gladiola in for third. 10 Tyrus smashed her in the Coolmore. So that's the small query I've got, though Cameron Will and Mahuna in for fourth. But I've got 10 Tyrus well clear of the rest here, and he should win the Group 1 Black Caviar Lightning. And it's that time of the week. It's last man standing last week. The Seminator came out with profit being $180 in front, and I came out with a slight loss of $3.75. There's still 2 spots remaining. DM me on X, Twitter to secure your spot. Sky High Horse Racing, you'll find me, and hopefully you can join the fun. And as we have a look at what we're doing this weekend, last man standing for 780 is going to have a $50 all up on Apocalyptic to win with Sovereign Hill to win. The same amount with the same two horses, Apocalyptic to win and Sovereign Hill the place. And as we take a look at what I'm going to do, I'm going to have $150 all up Apocalyptic, Autumn Glow, Sabage, Tentaris, and spoiler alert, 60s all the win. Race number 9 at Flemington is the Group 3 CSA Stakes over the 1400 metres, and it's a great race. It is every year, but I'm with 60s here. Barrier 11 is a little bit of a query from the wide draw, but this horse won the Ming Dynasty, beating Autumn Boy, who of course won the Caulfield Guineas and held Autumn Boy as well in the Golden Rose in Sydney. Came back and absolutely exploded in Sydney. A benchmark 88 granted, but it was just, he blew them away that day. I think that this horse is the real deal, and he's the one to beat here clearly. Space Rider in for second, I thought was very good in winning the Manfred, even though he was a little bit wayward, doing a couple of things wrong, and he still doesn't know what he's doing, but once he puts his mind on the job, he'll be a good horse, and he might score another win here, but he's up against a very classy horse in 60s, west of Swindon. Can run well first up here from the wide draw, and Romantic Encounter looks to be going forward from the inside draw for the Hayes Boys with Dan Stackhouse in the saddle, but I couldn't go past 60s here. Clearly the class runner, and hopefully deals with them like a class horse. And race number 10 at Flemington on this fantastic card of racing is the Group 3 Francis Tressady Stakes over the 1400 metres, and I've got Filia on top. I think this horse is the clear class in the race and one to beat. This horse went from a maiden to winning a Group 2 last preparation, failed over the extended trip of the 2200 metres in the Oaks, spelled after that, has had a lot of work leading into this and has been jog trotting in every single one of its pieces of work. David Van Dyke wouldn't be bringing it down if he didn't think it was ready, and I think can go forward with Road to Arataki, take over coming to the 250 and go whooshka. I think Filia is the one here. Road to Arataki, one last start, the Jeffrey Balmain by a good margin, but was big odds that day. Now you've got to take a short price off a big effort last up at a big price. I don't think it's the right price, though definitely can win. Too darn discreet. Off what she's done in her campaign this preparation, she can definitely run well, though I think she'd need further to be winning. And Grid Girl in 4/4, way up in grade, though is the horse that's fit in the race. Filia, it's just hers to lose. And now we turn our attention to Sydney for their feature races at Randwick. Race number 3 is the Pierrot Plate, and I've got Zoo Dazzler on top. I thought that this horse trialled really, really well against a couple of trials with Avengers. Those two looked the clear two in the race. I couldn't come into the favourite at the short odds, and I think Outspin won a pretty weak race last start, but I'm with the first starter in Zoo Dazzler, who can run really well here and be winning. Avengers, again, jumped out, trialled well, though Zoo Dazzler was the more impressive of the two in the trials, and Yvonne's Joy, in my opinion, can run well. The massive odds at $41. Nothing went right for her on debut, but Zoo Dazzler for mine in the Pierrot Plate hopefully can score a win at massive odds at $16. Race number 6 at Royal Randwick is the Group 2 Tab Light Finger Stakes, and it's going to be no surprise to anybody, but I've got Apocalyptic on top. She's a star filly, and I think can prove extremely hard to beat here. Has had these horses on a number of times over the Princess Series last preparation in the spring. And can run very well here. The only thing that gets this horse beaten, in my opinion, is if she's fit enough, but I think she is. She's had two very nice pieces of work leading into this, and on class alone, she should win. Savvy Halley in for second. Was hard fit second up when they faced in the one of the Princess Series races last preparation where Apocalyptic was first up and she smashed her that day. Sunrays is also in Brisbane, so watch where that horse goes, though. If it runs here, it signals clear intent. And Korinska can run well. Had not a lot of luck in its preparation last time in, though it's hard to see it beating Apocalyptic coming off what she did. Apocalyptic clearly for me in the light fingers. Race number 7 at Randwick is the Group 2 Expressway Stakes, and it's, in my opinion, a lottery of which Waller horse wins. Waller will win the race, but I'm going to go for the horse that's proven first up, and that's Jolly Star. She's an old marvel. She's a Newmarket winner, and we know how well she ran last preparation in a couple of her races, and she comes out of the best form, in my opinion, where she was not that far off Giga Kick in the VRC Sprint Classic, and that horse is going to start in the market in the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes. So with that, I think Jolly Star's the one to beat, and I'm happy to be on. Angel Capital will be flying home, as well as Lady Shenandoah, both coming out of the Everest, and both can win. Cold Crush looks to be up on speed for a long way, but Jolly Star for mine in the Expressway. Hopefully J-Mac, Class, and the first up record can note to being a win. Race number 8 at Royal Randwick is the Group 2 Apollo Stakes, and this is the best horse in Australia going around at the moment, and it's Autumn Glow. She's 8 from 8, going for 9 for 9, and to be honest, I can't see her getting beaten. So I think she's well suited at the trip. Yes, a lot of people are saying that this is her toughest test to date. I don't think so. She's raised the bar every single time it's been answered. She's a Group 1 winner in emphatic style. We don't know where this horse's ceiling is yet, which is scary because she just gets to them and only just gets the job done, considering that, and she's got so much left up to speed up her sleeve. So with that, J-Mac on, again, $1.55. It's a short price, but I can't see it getting beaten. Aliana in for second, I thought could run really well over the 1400 meters. Just a little query, is she better on a wet track? Though, but we'll find out, but I think she's a very good chance off the record that she's shown. Chael Wolf is way under the odds at $6. I couldn't take him. I think he's classy, but I think he will need a couple of runs to really get going into his prep, where we saw at the end of his preparation last campaign is where he excelled, and he was disappointing at the beginning of his preparation. So I think that he's one to just push aside for this race, and Lindemann could be in front for a long way. Autumn Glow for mine in the Apollo, though. It's just her race. And the last race of the day, race number 9 at Royal Randwick, is the Group 3 Triscay Stakes, and I'm with Lazura. That man again, James McDonald. Yes, she's got the wide draw and the big weight, but she's clearly the class runner here against this lineup. She was competing very competitively in Group 1's last preparation, having not a lot of luck, though running on well enough after winning first up and absolutely bolting in. And I think that she can win here, and I think $5 is a great price. Weeping Woman took the grades going up through them last preparation in style, and I think can run well. Do I think she's under the odds at $4.40? Yes. Do I think that could I have her any lower than second? No, because I think she's a very good winning chance. Lilac in for third. She can run well at $7.50, and Gerringong always races well and promises a lot, but never delivers. Lazura for mine, clearly the class runner in the Triscay. Thank you very much for watching my preview, and I hope you've enjoyed. Hopefully we get a couple of winners on these two cards, being the Sydney Features at Royal Randwick and the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes Day in Melbourne. They both look ripping cards, and hopefully again we get some winners, and I'll see everybody next Saturday for the Blue Diamond and Futurity and the Oakley Plate.